The misty mountains cold.
Is this that Hobbit shit?
Hello and welcome to That Hobbit Shit. I'm Corey.
And I'm Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Corey. Been a while.
It has been. Yeah, it has been a little while. What chapter are we doing today, Mike?
Well, Corey, today we're reading chapter 3 of The Two Towers.
We're already on chapter 3?
Or we're
Wow.
already on chapter 3, or only on chapter 3, depending on if you're an optimist or a pessimist.
Yes.
And it's easy to be a pessimist if you're part of the Pinch Parade, which is the title of this chapter.
Oh, that might be one of my favorite chapter titles. Yeah.
Inside joke.
Is it?
So, Corey, this jumps into the Hobbit perspective. So we finally find out what's going on with Merry and Pippin. Pippin awoke from a terrible nightmare into a much worse nightmare. He was tied at the wrists, the legs, and the ankles. And laying beside him was passed out Merry, who was tied out too. And he had what looked kind of like Sam's underwear around his head. Corey, they were surrounded by orcs. Those were orc underwear, not Sam underwear.
Dear God.
Easy mistake to make, I imagine.
Yeah, I see the layers of your joke now.
Pippin quickly summarizes the end of the fellowship for us. Merry and Pippin running off like idiots, stumbling into orcs, Boromir saving them, and then how he blacked out. There were a lot of questions for old Pippin. Where, what, when, why, and how. And as he tried to figure it out, he went through a bunch of luggage analogies about himself. And tried to wiggle free. As he was wiggling, some orcs realized he was awake and started laughing at him. They explained that if it were up to them, he'd be dead. But the Isengarders said no. Pippin took himself to a happy place, but suddenly there was a hot quarrel among the Orcsises. You see, Corey, there were 2 or 3 different groups of orcs on this adventure, and they weren't getting along. No, not at all. 2 of the groups wanted to kill and probably eat the hobbits, and not in that order. But the other group had orders from Isengard. You see, the Isengard orcs thought Merry and Pippin had some sort of weapon for the war. They argued back and forth over whether they should take the hobbits to Isengard or to Mordor or to eat bits of them. And Pippin listened and sweated through his robes. We find out through the arguing that the Isengard orcs are called the Fighting Uruk-hai. They are led by a stout fellow named Uglúk. Not only that, they killed a great warrior, Boromir, and kidnapped the hobbits. And they follow Saruman. Saruman's after that hobbit underwear. Is that the weapon for war?
No comment at this time.
The leader of the Mordor orcs was named Grishnákh, and he was real pissy. The fighting devolved into an actual fight, and Pippin cowered away. Uglúk killed 2 Mordor orcs, and Grishnákh ran away. Or his whole team ran away. Sorry. The Uruk-hai killed a few more orcs, and one dropped a knife near Pippin. That little sneak used it to cut the sweaty ropes around his hands, and he was halfway free. Just in time, too, because it was time to march. Merry and Pippin were thrown over some orc shoulders like sacks and dragged off. Pippin went back to his happy place.
His dreams of luggage analogies.
He woke up when he was tossed to the ground. Corey, it turns out there was a horseman or possibly horsemen following the orcs.
Good one.
I'm glad you like that one. Uglúk stood Pippin up and told him they had to do some climbing and he better not fucking run. Pippin was very weak, so the orcs made him drink a Jager bomb. It was gross, but he immediately felt better.
As is normal with Jager bombs.
Right back to it. Then he sat up Merry, who was still unconscious, he being Uglúk. Was it Uglúk? Yeah, it was Uglúk. Okay. He sat Merry up, who was still unconscious, and had another orc pour 2 Jager bombs down his throat. Everyone cheered. Merry was back in action, and it was time to go. They scampered down a ravine and started running, the Jager bombs helping the hobbits keep up with the orcs. Pippin kept daydreaming about Strider. How would he ever follow us, he says. He had an idea. As soon as he got a chance, he made a run for it, just as the orcs told him not to. Just as they caught him, he dropped his little leaf brooch on the ground. He also caught a whooping for that.
Yeah.
They ran and ran and ran some more. And when they couldn't run, the orcs carried them. Pippin woke up. He passed out again to his happy place. Sorry.
Very important.
Pippin woke up to the orcs fighting about the horseman or men. And the Mordor orcs got so pissy they got up and ran away. But guess who replaced them? Old Grishnákh's back. He returned with some other orcs. So I think this is the fourth group of orcs or the third group of orcs which ran away earlier and now is back. Are you keeping up with the orc groups?
Yes. Is this a good time to tease the Matham House?
No.
Okay, sorry.
We don't want to lose listeners already. Grishnákh and Uglúk immediately start fighting again about the horses and the hobbits and who gets to eat sorry. And who is stupider, not who gets to eat Strider. They don't know who Strider is.
But if they did, they would probably discuss who gets to eat them.
Yeah, that was one of those terrible typos I had.
Oh, right.
It was time to go again. So Merry and Pippin were picked up and off they ran. They ran and fought and ran. And the forest was finally within reach. Did I mention they're running for the forest? They're running for the forest.
Oh, yes. Fanghorn Forest?
But Fanghorn Forest. But suddenly horses, Corey. They could hear horses. There were horsemen's on both sides, hemming the orcs in and taking pot shots with their filthy bows. As the night fell, the orcs stopped at a hillock and were quickly surrounded by campfires of horsemen. Pippin barely had time to get excited before he realized the horsemen don't know what a hobbit is. Plus, he and Merry are covered in filth and dirt and orc underwear and stink like Jägermeister. The orcs resumed fighting among themselves, of course. They were fighting so loud they didn't notice some sneaky horsemen sneak up on a bunch of them and kill them. When they heard the screaming, all the orcs ran over to where the horsemen were fighting, and Merry and Pippin found themselves all alone. But not for long. Clever Grishnákh returned and began to finger them mightily. Surely he was going to kill and eat them as a last meal when Pippin had the smartest idea he ever had. He began to taunt Grishnákh about the underwear he was surely looking for, telling him he wouldn't find them that way and calling them his precious for some reason. Merry joined in and they sorry.
I'm just trying to keep all the metaphors straight.
Merry joined in and they teased Grishnákh as badly as he had fingered them. So suddenly he had enough and seized the hobbits and dragged them away from the hillock. They got him so mad he forgot about the horsemen and ran right into one, who shot Grishnákh dead with an arrow. Merry and Pippin laid completely still for a long time. The horsemen attacked the filthy orcs for real, and Merry and Pippin were left all alone, once and for all. Pippin slipped out of the cut cords he had on his wrist, had a quick snack, and then freed Merry.
In that order?
Exactly in that order. They both crawled towards the forest, listened to the orcs being murdered in the moonlight, and stopped for a little snack again, or stopped for a second snack. For a brief moment, they considered whether they should go into Fanghorn, but shrugged their shoulders and went in anyway. And Uglúk was killed by Éomer.
Ah, yes. Yeah, little footnote.
It's a pretty long chapter.
Yeah.
I cut out a lot of suffering.
A lot of suffering, a lot of Pippin passing out.
A lot of orc fighting.
Yeah. Okay, great. Excellent summary, Mike. Thank you.
You're welcome, Corey. I forgot to say the end.
I think you did, actually.
Okay, I said the end.
Was that the end?
That was the end, yeah.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Yeah. Éomer killed Uglúk.
Right.
That's how it ended.
Well, Mike, shall we jump into the notes or shall we go to the dragon?
I think we usually go to the dragon.
All right. I was gonna try to make horse clopping sounds, but then I realized it would just sound like garbage in the microphone.
But the only food for the brave and true comes from the Green Dragon.
Okay, welcome to the Green Dragon, the segment where we discuss the beers we selected for today's chapter. Mike, what are you having today?
All right, I'm just pouring myself a fresh IPA.
Ooh,
You know what it's called? Yes, you just asked. You don't know.
yeah,
It's called
I don't.
Among Giants.
Oh, hey.
It's a West Coast IPA, and it's been sitting in my fridge, just waiting for a time to be drunk.
Just waiting for a dirty pinch parade.
Yeah, it's by Hoyne Brewing Company, one of my favorites.
Oh, Hoyne, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that they have some junior brewers. I don't know the title.
Okay.
Who have released a bunch of new beers that have been added to their lineup, and some of them are really tasty, like Among Giants.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh, that's really cool.
It's,
Actually,
it's a really fruity IPA. It's 6.7% alcohol, so it's got some bite.
it's got a bite, but it's no Jaeger bomb.
Yeah, it won't pinch you either.
What when you say it's a fruity IPA, is it like what kind of fruits are you talking about?
Like a bright kind of a bright citrus, I would
Okay,
say.
cool.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sometimes it's like a piney kind of, or like a really sour. But this one's like bright.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it quite a bit. I've been fighting not drinking it.
Is that the last one?
The last one. Well, not ever. I'll buy more, but
Yeah,
you
fair
know.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, a 6.7 is a real commitment too.
Yep. Again, point out that it's like just after 2 p.m. where you are.
Yeah, this is my day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink this, and I'm gonna attempt to cut some beets.
Ooh, hey, that's exciting, but you won't be able to tell the difference between beet juice and blood.
That's okay.
Okay, because I'll be sauced.
Yeah. It's not like I'm cutting onions or lemons, Corey, and I'll feel it.
Yeah, that's true.
Got my first beet harvest to cut up.
That's exciting. That's very exciting.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
Okay, well, because Pippin dodged out of the pinch parade for a moment to drop that brooch, I'm drinking Decoy Lager. Yeah,
Nice.
Decoy Lager is partnering with Ducks Unlimited to apparently protect wetlands. Although if you read the fine print, it's it's $1 from every 6 beers goes to Ducks Unlimited, so it's really not that great.
Really?
And I only bought
Really?
one. But anyway, so like 20 cents has gone to. Anyway, it's from Spearhead Brewing. They are out of Kingston, Ontario.
Nice. Kingston. Nice.
Yeah, Kingston's a tight place. We're looking at a light beer here, Mike. 4% alcohol.
Oh, how responsible.
I am planning to have more. Nice. Yeah, it's just a nice clean lager, maybe a bit on the sweet side.
Yeah, that's a good summer beer.
Puts me in mind of ducks.
Oh, does it taste like ducks?
It tastes like pond water. No, I'm just kidding.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's my beer. I don't really have much else to say about it. I think I made notes. Was there something I wanted to bring up at the Dragon here? No.
Something
No,
about
there is not.
IBUs?
Oh shit. Scanning. IBU not found.
I feel like we were pioneers with this who cares about IBUs thing, because no one seems to care anymore.
No, yeah, it was weird. Yeah, we somehow predicted the end of the trend, which I don't know if is a very useful prediction, but
No, mine just has 3 dials, color, malt, and hops, and color and malt are at the bottom, and hops is near the top. So there you go.
oh, okay. Mine tells me that this is crushable, crisp, and refreshing.
Crushable. Hey, do you
That's
mean
just
the
a
can or the beer?
first one and then the other.
Okay.
I was gonna say it's just a buzzword.
Oh, usually a lager is pretty crushable.
Yeah, I like a good yellow beer.
Yeah, it's good for summer.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree.
and it's certainly summer today in beautiful Toronto.
You know what it isn't here? Summer.
Really? Is it cold?
It's kind of humid actually, but it's raining. It reminds me of spring in Guelph today
Oh,
for some
interesting.
reason. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
it's been like pouring all day. We did some puddle jumping,
Oh yeah.
as
Nice.
you do. Yeah,
Classic springtime and Guelph activity.
yeah, puddle jumping, wearing your froggy raincoat. You know how it goes. Should we head over to the note section?
Yes. Okay, I'll start us off then, Mike.
Sure.
My first note, horse boys, Mike.
What what of them?
Just that Gluck said horse boys like 9 times in the chapter. Just it just made me laugh.
Yeah, he doesn't like them. He doesn't like much, does he? That
He doesn't
Ungluck.
seem to. No. Other than
No,
killing the great warrior, he liked that.
he was pretty proud of that. I think he was riding high on that up until another great warrior killed him.
Yes. Although weirdly, now that you bring it up, doesn't isn't Eomer in like awe of Boromir when we meet him in chapter 2? He's like, oh
Uh,
my god, you guys were friends with Boromir. He's so cool.
I think he was. Yeah, he was also in awe of everything, trying to keep it together in front of his men.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, when these like legendary creatures just appeared out of the grass. That's fair. That's fair.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! There they are.
Oh my god, the Lost King. Oh my god.
Getting him to sign his sword.
Yeah. Does your sword have a name, little guy? Who should I make this out to? Do you have any notes, Mike?
Uh, Traveling with orcs would suck. Isn't it
Uh,
just the worst?
yes. Uh it's disgusting. You also gotta keep in mind the path of destruction that Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli came across, like the broken shoes and shit like that. Like
Yeah, you know
oh
when I just picture this like this like wall of stink and limbs flying all over the place, and like they're just fighting constantly about everything.
yeah, yeah, and periodically murdering each other.
Yeah, they're stopping to have a big fight that may or may not include death.
There's also the aspect of the unidentified meat that Pippin didn't want to eat.
Right. It was probably orc. It was
Probably, yeah.
orc or human, that's my guess.
Ugh. Imagine Pippin just for the rest of his life in the Shire having a perverted taste for man flesh. Just trying to acquire human meat. Slipping into Brie at night and asking Bill Ferny for human meat.
Oh boy. Bill Ferny would know where to get it too.
Oh, for sure.
He'll get you human meat this afternoon, but he's finishing his coffee first. Any other notes, Corey?
Yes, muckraker, I think is a pretty brutal thing to call somebody.
Is that what they call the Isengarders?
Yeah, the muckrakers of some wizard or something like that. Or
Okay, so
maybe dirty wizard.
is that because they're digging below Isengard, or is it because they came out of mud pits?
Uh that's it. That is a good question. I think a very valid question. I don't know. I just picture like I guess like having to muck out like a stable.
Right.
I thought like, just shit shovelers, if you will. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they do know. Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm changing my tune on this. You bring up a good point. The Mordor orcs seem to know a hell of a lot, and possibly more than they should. So maybe that is where that joke came from, or
Oh,
insult, I guess.
man. So just a side note here, the Isengard orcs have it way, way better than the Mordor orcs in terms of like quality of life.
I would think so, yeah.
Like it's just the fact that they can find muck. There is muck to rake.
That implies bounty.
Yeah.
Well, I think they've had like I mean, yeah, Ugluk is a bit of a miserable guy, but I think they've had more pleasant existences up to this point than the Mordor orcs have. I think the Mordor orcs have seen nothing but worse than what Pippin has seen.
Yeah, because Mordor would be like brimstone, basically.
Yeah,
Like
just
no water, no plant life, unless like walking on grass is just painful for them.
oh, maybe it might be actually. Maybe
Hmm.
that's why this trip is so miserable for them.
Oh, normally they don't fight so much.
Yeah.
Wow. What more about orcs do I have? Orcs make their own bread, Corey.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Did you catch that? What do you think is in orc bread? Like, do they would have to be stolen flour, right? They don't mill stuff.
I was just thinking that, yeah, like is that like a vocation in the orc world, like an orcish miller? Like I can't imagine they command a lot of respect.
They, they must have human slaves who mill their bread,
Oh, weird, gross. Yeah, that's probably.
or do
Yeah.
they grind someone's bones to make their bread?
I mean, that sounds rather trollish, but it's a good guess.
Well, I don't know. What else do we got to go from here? They I
Do you
don't know.
recall, since we've already referenced back to The Hobbit, do you recall, I think in Hobbit Concerns, we were discussing the various types of sourdough that one might be able to cultivate in Middle Earth?
Oh, the orcs probably have the dankest sourdough.
The dankest, yes. It's probably pretty good. I wonder if you could get a good rise out of bone flour.
I don't want to know.
I'm gonna take the opposite side on this one, Mike. I would like to find out.
You're gonna end up in Mary's predicament.
Just with a taste for it. Oh no. Yeah. But yeah, someone's got to bake that bread.
Yeah, I think it's slaves. That's
Okay.
my guess.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good guess. I can't imagine like uh really jolly like fat orc baker being like, new batch is ready. Like, oh, I just milled this bone this morning.
He'd probably be the only happy orc. Well, the amount he'd have to bake.
Yeah, he'd have to
Uh,
feed several armies worth, but anyhow.
I only have two more notes here.
Okay, well, I've got another short orc note. Grishnákh seems to be built like an orangutan.
It seems that way, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's all.
Orangutan.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah. And would you say that Ugluk is more like a gorilla?
Yeah, probably, actually, yeah. He seems more certainly like man framed, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Humanoid? Well, I guess orangutans are humanoid. I don't know.
yeah. But I know what you mean. Like, not as disproportioned.
Yeah, like a buff guy.
Like a big, cool, buff guy.
Which brings up we need to discuss at some point here Team Ugluk versus Team Grishnákh.
Right. Which one did I vote for? Ugluk?
No,
Or
you
my
said you were
Gr-
Team Grishnákh, and I was
Oh,
shocked.
of course I'm Team Grishnak. Right. Of course.
Why?
Because Ugluk is soft.
He's so
He's had
Mi-
that Isengard life.
I suppose that's true, but Mike, he killed the Great Warrior.
He killed one great warrior.
That he's like a week old at this point. I think that's the highlight of his life. He came
So are
straight
they
out of the muck to Palace or Parse Galathon. Shit,
he was raked straight out of the muck.
he was. Grishnak is
Raw,
like,
he's old. Grishnak's old.
yeah, Grishnak's seen a couple of winters.
How old is Grishnak? I'm looking it up. I want to know. I'm gonna guess in the hundreds. What do you think?
I guess that's fair to guess that. Do we know how old like Legolas is? Like, how old is your average elf in the third age?
Oh, I think Legolas is over 1,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't see
I
Grishnákh
think
being that
so.
old.
There's no age for Grishnak here on
Okay.
yeah, well, that's too bad. Oh, the picture of Grishnak from the animated movie is fantastic.
From the animated movie,
Anyway,
the one that we just watched, the Ralph Bakshi one.
yeah, yeah.
Oh shit, I don't remember. I need to find it.
Anyway, back to eating. It cracked me up how the hobbits just stop to eat while there's a battle taking place.
Oh, yes, Mike. Yes, in fact.
They're so unbothered by death and destruction and murder and like their own pending doom.
Well put, Mike. I have a note that is this chapter is a wonderful example of how ridiculous hobbits are.
It's why they're able to defy the ring, probably.
I suppose so, yeah, because they're like so oblivious to anything in the world. Like they have a picnic while bloody murder is taking place 50 feet away. And then after Merry got that savage beating, and he just wakes up and he's like, "Morning, Pippin."
Morning, Pip.
Oh,
Yeah, those two went through it.
yeah. I think we brought up a few times, like the worst day in some of the characters' lives. Like, this is the low point for Merry and Pippin for sure.
Yeah, it might be the low point for anyone in the Fellowship
Yeah,
so
yeah.
far.
Maybe barring Gandalf, but,
Yeah.
or I suppose no, this is the worst.
Well, Gandalf died.
Sort of Boromir,
Yeah, but no one liked Boromir.
except for Éomer.
Yeah.
We have to keep this all straight.
Right. Okay. Right. Gotcha. It's a bad day. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. They're out of their depth. Hobbits in general are out of their depth in Middle Earth.
In most things.
Yes. uh
My last note, Corey. One of those little hobbits says, "I shall have to brush up my toes."
oh my
Do you remember
God.
this? Did you catch this?
No, that went over my
I think it's when they're trying to like clean themselves up after they get out of their ordeal.
Yeah. You know, like I suppose for you or I, we might like straighten the hair on our heads
Yeah.
after this particular ordeal. Yeah, I guess their first thought is like, oh no, my toes are all messed up.
It's probably just like a sign of, like extreme dishevelment for a hobbit.
Well, and they both come from fairly prominent Hobbit families, so I bet that's like highly taboo to have uncombed foot hair.
Never mind the fact that they're just covered in shit.
As long as they can comb it out of their feet. Yeah. Do you think when hobbits are talking to each other, they sometimes have to be like, my feet are down here? Like it's taboo to like look another hobbit in the eye. You're supposed to look at their foot hair.
I bet they're just like such little pricks. I wish this was covered in the movie, but like the state of each other's feet.
There's so much depth to how ridiculous hobbits are. It's just foolish little creatures.
Do you have any other notes from this chapter?
Um, oh, I thought it was kind of cool that there was some depiction of fear and distrust of on both sides of the war here, because the orcs are like kind of afraid of the horse riders.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird time in Middle Earth because everyone's a little bit afraid of the horse riders. They don't know whose side they're on.
Yeah. Well, I guess everybody's kind of afraid of each other because like all the races have become somewhat reclusive.
Yeah.
And they're all sort of itching or think that the other ones are itching to kill them and kill each other.
Huh.
Like because Uglúk, sorry?
Would you say everyone's become divided?
Yes, I would say that, Mike. I just have examples. Ugluk mentions in passing that the horses of Rohan can see the wind, which is obviously not true. And then oh, sorry, that was my only example. So yeah, that's what my whole note was based on.
Just propaganda that's going around.
Basically, yeah, like because yeah, there's I don't know, I'm sure there are examples of like when the other species are talking about the orcs and they're like, oh, orcs do these sorts of horrible things, or like like when Pippin won't eat the meat, he's like, oh, I wouldn't eat the meat that an orc handed me. And it's like, well, I don't know, it could be exactly what you eat. It's just gross.
Yeah, it might just be normal meat.
Yeah, but propaganda, like you said, Mike, yes. Oh, sorry, and a funny last note for me. This is my last note. Both Ugluk and Grishnákh, I can't say this without laughing. Both of them are dead by the end of the chapter.
Yeah, they don't last very long.
No, they blaze bright like the sun, but burn out quick.
Yeah, so maybe Grishnákh wasn't hundreds of years old. Maybe he really was only like a few years old.
What makes you say that?
Well, just because orcs seem to die so quickly.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like the orcs. Funny to like think of a fantasy in these terms, but yeah, the birth rate of orcs must have to be quite high because the death rate is probably substantial.
Yeah, like average lifespan of 20 years or something.
Yeah,
maybe less.
Yeah, before an elf or a man cuts you down.
Or another orc.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, that's very true. Yeah.
Yeah, or like infection.
Again, yes, a real world aspect that we should be considering.
Whenever I see the orc depictions, we have like they're like stapled together with like thick metal staples and stuff. That's where my mind goes. Like, oh.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So when did the stitches come out? Oh, those don't come out.
That's part of me now.
Yeah.
Cast it into the fire!
Fan cast it into the fire. The segment where we do what the still doer couldn't. We decide we cast actors to appear in a new version of The Lord of the Rings. Mike, we are casting who this week?
We are casting a very important character, Grishnákh, and a less important character, Ugluk.
Oh, I am so angry right
now. So Corey, for Grishnákh, I chose Bill Skarsgård.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you know Bill? You know of him?
Yep, Pennywise.
Pennywise, yeah. He's also in what's that called? Sorry. The Stephen King show. Can't remember what it's called.
Show?
Yeah, there's a Stephen King show he's in. It's like 3 seasons long.
Oh, no, I don't know.
He's really tall and lanky, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What the heck is it? Castle Rock.
Don't know it.
Good show.
Yeah, okay.
It was canceled after 2 seasons, but it's a good show.
I haven't actually seen the new It, so I mean I called him Pennywise, but I haven't actually watched it.
The second season or the second movie, or the first?
Either like part 1 or part 2.
Oh, first one's really good. Part 2 sucks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. That sucks. Is it? Have you read the book?
Yeah.
It's like a tome, man. It's
it's mostly great, and there's a very awful part.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård is 6'3".
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's hunch him over. Let's give him arm extensions.
Yeah, I think it would be perfect. And you know how he like contorts himself for Pennywise?
No, but sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's all like weird. Anyway, I think he'd be perfect.
Okay, great cast.
Perfect Grishnákh.
Yeah.
What about Ugluk?
Is that an oxymoron? The perfect Grishnákh? Sorry. So for Ugluk, Mike, do you recognize the name Kaven Novak?
Yes, but I don't know why.
Because he is Nandor the Relentless.
Oh boy.
I just
Are
think it
we
would be. Sorry.
are we just gonna cast the entire cast of what we do in the shadows eventually?
The only problem with that is we need a female character.
Oh, and there are none.
And as we know, yeah, exactly. But otherwise, yes, I think it'd be a pretty hilarious nod to have him lugging Harvey Guillen around for an entire segment. And
Oh
also he's
man.
good at being like a big bruiser type guy. I think
Yeah.
great.
Wow. And he already has a bit of a role with him where he's dominating him. That's funny. Good combo. We have to cast what's his name still?
Oh,
The energy vampire.
yes, yes. Colin Robinson. Colin Robinson.
Colin Robinson.
He's a pretty brilliant actor.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh,
all of them are, I should say, but
he yeah, the one episode of What We Do in the Shadows when he's just sitting in on town council meeting.
oh yes, yeah. Well, with Nandor, with Kava and Novak, do you remember the episode of What We Do in the Shadows where they have like I think it's the cloak of duplication, and he plays each of the other characters in turn, and he does
No,
such a fucking good job.
I might not have made it that far in.
Oh, it's real good. Like because Nadia is pretending to be him at one point, and Laszlo's pretending to be him at one point, but it's all him playing them playing him. Like it's fantastic.
All right, I got to get back into that show.
What's in this? Nothing. Just a bit of seasoning. I thought maybe if we was having a roast chicken one night or something.
Cooking with Sam, where we discuss the delicious delectables that we cooked for this episode. Sorry about that intro, Corey. Corey, what did you inflict upon us this episode?
Well, Mike, we made a lot of cram jokes back in season 1,
Yeah.
as I recall. And now, Mike, for once, the joke is finally on us.
Oh
Because we
boy.
made cram.
Is it on us?
You said, I'm quoting you again here. I have a spicy take on this recipe.
Oh yeah, I didn't like it at all.
Okay, I'll come back to that. I got a few things to say, but my last point addresses that. Well, it's a pretty simple recipe. Remarkably simple, actually. I would tend to say it's a lot like pie crust when you get right down to it.
Yep.
I don't know if you thought that while you were making it. I was like, it's just pie crust with like seed mix in it.
With seed mix and pepper.
Yeah. That the pie crust thing was an interesting thing for me because I was using vegan butter, and vegan butter tends to be a little bit oilier than regular butter. Because it's usually got like coconut oil or something in it, depending. And so I had to sort of adjust the recipe periodically, but that led to me over mixing it. And when you over mix pie crust, it becomes hard as shit.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a problem. I don't know if you had that problem.
Mine was just hard as shit. I didn't know if that was my overmixing or what.
Oh, okay.
I followed the recipe to a T, so I don't know. It was just I made these hard little wafers.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I thought mine they were a little bit flaky, but I felt like if I had sort of, I mean, like once you've made it once, right, you kind of like, oh, I get it. It's like pie crust. I know what I'm going for now. I feel like I would make it better the next time, and it would probably be a little bit flakier rather than hard and crunchy. Which
Yeah, it could have been like because I was dealing with some dental issues at the time.
oh, okay, yeah,
That could have been my major turnoff from it.
maybe, yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I'm not eating any more of these. Basically, I ate one. I'm also not a big snacker.
Oh no.
Yeah, like I'll eat an occasional snack, but like crackers aren't really something. They're crackers, right? Like let's get down to brass tacks here. It's a cracker we made. We made crackers.
Yeah, we made crackers. We did.
Yeah, I don't eat crackers very often. Like once in a blue moon, if I'm at like someone's house for dinner and they bring out crackers, I'll enjoy that cracker, but like I'll almost never make it for myself.
Okay, that's totally fair. Snacking is big in my house because we almost always have hummus.
Yeah, hummus is good stuff. I like it a lot. It doesn't come into my life very often unless I put it on a sandwich at a meal.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We snack on
Sorry.
hummus quite a bit. No, I was gonna ignore your tone actually. But yeah, we went through them. We went through the recipe. I thought it was pretty good. I think my sort of the final take on the whole thing would be like, if not for the seeds in it, it would be so like, yeah, it's just like eating a piece of pie crust, which is like quite boring. Like this
Yeah,
seed mix really makes it.
and I guess it's also meant to like be a vehicle for other things, like if which is kind of my issue with crackers in general.
Right.
I guess like you're not putting like hummus is really good, but generally you're not putting healthy stuff on crackers to munch on them.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. Yeah.
It's often like cheese, which the best, but or like jams and stuff like that, which I really like, but try not to eat a ton of it.
Yeah, that's fair. And then again, when you get down to it, it's like, well, would you rather have those delicious items on a cracker or a slice of your own homemade sourdough bread?
Yeah, and they were pretty easy to make, but like I wouldn't go to that effort to make them again.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I wanted to give you you remember in Seinfeld when Elaine worked for the J. Peterman catalog?
Yeah.
And they had like stories about like, I don't know, wandering through a tundra somewhere, but you had your J. Peterman boots on, so you weren't cold or whatever.
Yeah.
I wanted to give you a story like that, but I don't have one. However, I did after the day after I made them. I decided to walk to work, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take some cram with me because that's what cram's for. It's walking food. And I made it to work, and I ate some cram, and it was great.
Did you drink a double portion of water after?
I probably did by the time I got there. Yeah, yeah, just butter and salt. Yeah, I was trying to imagine walking to the Lonely Mountain. I guess is where I'm going with this.
I often do that.
Cram or not.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you, Mike, and
Yes.
this is some real talk, sobering stuff. Do we like this cookbook?
I'm gonna say so far I do not.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that. And I hate to be Sauron's advocate here, but there are other Tolkien cookbooks out there.
Yeah, we might have to. Let's give it a couple more, and then deviate. I'm a little worried about. We've been kind of picking on the fringe of this cookbook, like taking the easy things.
Yeah.
I don't want to actually buy like a leg of lamb and fuck it up.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
Um,
that gets me into some interesting territory if we do like a heavy duty meat dish. I'm like, I don't know, do I just get a block of tofu or I don't
yeah,
know.
I don't know. I like obviously we wouldn't do that.
Oh, you try. It might be fun.
Yeah. Would you eat fish?
Actually, possibly. We've sort of been talking about that lately. Because I do quite love eating fish, to be honest.
Yeah, but like at the same time, I don't want to make a fish pie. Like fish is kind of expensive. I don't want to fuck that up either.
Yeah, and if you get a good fish, it's nice to just like eat the fish, like
Yeah. We'll give it a couple more, maybe another round, and we'll see.
yeah, okay, cool.
I'll be very, very picky about this next one.
Yes. Well, the cram is in your court, so to speak, Mike.
Yeah.
Because the next choice is yours.
Okay. Well, it'll be a big deal.
Okay. But yeah,
Okay.
soon we will be able to say definitively whether or not we recommend this cookbook to you, dear listeners.
Yeah, I would say 2 more recipes and we'll make our decision.
Okay, cool. Sweet. This is getting exciting.
Yeah. Do we deviate next time? That's the thing. Like, if this is going, I've been pretty true to what it's recommended. Aside from the mushroom pie, I added some broth to it because I felt like it was going to be a bit bland.
Right, yeah.
But I feel like I'm not gonna deviate. I'm gonna be honest with it.
I think I was trying to be pretty true on the last one at least. I kind of want to try some of the sweets, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go sweet next. I'll go through the sweets and we'll figure out a sweet, and then maybe a honey cake.
Yeah, maybe that'll turn us. Yeah, I don't know. We're also choosing like recipes that like sound like fun. Like,
Yeah.
like we love cram.
Is there lambus in there?
Yes. It's weird. It's got Parmesan cheese in it, which like I don't know, that seems odd.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, I don't think it does. And I don't picture lambus as being like that kind of savory, but
No.
I don't know, man.
Okay. Well, onward and upward, Corey.
The Matham House, it was called.
Corey, the Matham House, it was called.
It was.
This is the segment where we discuss something that didn't fit into the rest of the episode, but was somewhat important.
And the most important thing was the orc teams, Team Grishnákh and Team Uglúk.
Yeah, I asked you to research the different kinds of orc. Was that what it was?
Yeah, the different kinds, the different factions, if you will, that appeared in this chapter to drag Merry and Pippin along. So, well, I've broken it down into teams. I'll go a team at a time here. I believe there are 3. So let me start with team 1. Team 1, of course, is Team Uglúk. And the first thing to note about Team Uglúk is that they hate the horse boys. And this team was, of course, made up of the Uruk-hai, which were bred by Saruman and loyal only to Saruman. That is to say that they are loyal to Sauron only in as much as Saruman is loyal to Sauron, which is evidently not that much. I'm not even trying to be funny. It's just confusing when you say it. So an interesting point here is that according to research, the earliest that Saruman could have been breeding orcs was the year 2990 of the Third Age, which is 29 years previous to the date of the chapter that we're on. So Uglúk could at most be 29 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm not really sure why that was the year, but that's what I came across. Also, Saruman was apparently crossbreeding orcs with men. Have we discussed that, Mike?
I don't know if we have, if it came up with Bill Fernie or not. I can't remember.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think I want to discuss that.
Okay.
I think I'm okay not discussing that.
Was he physically doing the breeding?
Again, this is probably what I didn't want to get into.
Okay.
It's just gotta be gross. Anyway, so there was the team led by Uglúk, who was sort of the main team, and then there was also a separate team of Uruk-hai, which was led by Mahur, who was leading the second troop of Isengarders. Maybe I should read my notes. And so this leads us to the conclusion that Mike Isengard is lousy with Uruk-hai. They literally have Uruk-hai to spare. Just because there's so many of them, and he must have sent out several teams of them. Like he must have sent Mahur in one direction, Uglúk in the other direction, probably not knowing which one of them may or may not run into the Fellowship.
Was Mahur the one he was breeding? Sorry.
So moving along to Team Grishnákh. I'm cutting that last part out. So Mike, the one thing the Matham House has taught me that I didn't know before is that Grishnákh is always talking about taking people back to Lugburs. He's like, oh, we'll take these hobbits back to Lugburs, then they'll see what's what or whatever. But Lugburs actually refers to Barad-dûr, aka the Dark Tower of Sauron, which I didn't realize. Kind of makes total sense as we are, reading the Two Towers, which refers to Barad-dûr and Orthanc. But I always thought Lugburs was like some orc settlement, like that was like nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't know that. He wants to take him straight back to the capital, like no messing around or whatever. So that means Grishnákh is straight from Mordor proper.
Yeah, he's an OG.
He definitely is. So yeah, he's the representative of Mordor in this whole business. He had a very I'll tattle on you energy. He was all sneaky and shit.
He did in the coolest way.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Um,
He's gonna
uh,
drop a caribou, Corey.
Drop a caribou, I'll tell on you.
Yeah.
So dank. Wow. That really threw me off how dank that
Sorry.
reference was. No, it's good. Okay, so Grishnákh came straight from Mordor. And he, I think, was very likely among the orcs who attacked the Fellowship while they were on the river in one of the last chapters of the Fellowship.
Oh.
I say that, Mike, because he mentions the Nazgul and where it's waiting. And also Uglúk seems to know that Legolas shot the monster thing it flies on with an arrow.
Oh.
Yeah, which I think also implies quite a large orcish communication system, which is maybe scary.
Well, they probably are tunneling under everything.
The Rings of Power taught us that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that brings us to the third team, which I have titled Team We're Still Mad About the Great Goblin's Murder from 78 years ago.
Yeah, that's them.
Yes. So these orcs, Mike, are from the Misty Mountains, and the ones who have been squatting in Moria for an age or two. They are the ones who the other orcs call the Northerners. And there is very little to say about them, really, other than where they're from, and that they were there to get revenge. Like they were, I guess they're mad that the Fellowship was in Moria at all. I don't know.
Wow, they probably suck so hard compared to the other two groups.
Yes, I think they definitely do. I think that like they couldn't run in the sun, and they were like they really just wanted to go back to the mountain.
It's probably their like old shoes and equipment that's getting dropped the whole way because it's just shit.
Yeah, like no one has entered any like orc settlement in the Misty Mountains probably for 78 years since Bilbo did it. Yeah, I have an interesting point or two that I think this team brings up. The first is that we learned in the Fellowship when they were in Mordor that there were Mordor orcs in Moria, which would lead to the conclusion that the Great Red Eye is essentially in control of Misty Mountain orcs. Someone, I guess, must have forced a group of them to attempt to follow the Fellowship outside of the mountains, even though this is like well over a month after the incident with the Balrog. So like these guys must have been just miserable. And then that brings up the other point, where if they were just out for revenge rather than being forced out of their holes, I don't know what they were looking for revenge for, because all they had was a bunch of trespassers. Maybe that they were pissed that Gandalf fought with the Balrog. I don't know, because they were afraid of the Balrog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess my fan theory is that they're just still angry about the Great Goblin.
If they were mad about that, imagine how mad they were when they met the Isengarders, who were like brand new orcs.
You weren't even born when the Great Goblin was killed.
They have like new swords and clothing.
and a ruler.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
Where did you guys even come from?
They're probably whining so much. Shirts? You guys have shirts?
Why are we outside? We should be in a mountain.
So what's next, Corey? Oh,
Riders of Rohan! What news from the mark?
Hobbit News, where we discuss news in the Shire. Corey, what's new since last we spoke?
The biggest news in the Shire, Mike, is that Hobbit shit has reached 10,000 listens.
As of
today.
A couple hours ago, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, holy Hobbit shit. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
if you just started listening, it might be years before you get to this episode, but thank you for bringing us to 10,000.
Or maybe someone cycling back through while they wait for the newest episode.
That's a smart move. Feel free to do that if you feel so inclined.
Yeah, I can't believe we hit 10,000. We started this just kind of entertaining ourselves during COVID.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. We looked kind of recently and we're like, oh my God, we're approaching 10,000. And yeah, we got the news today.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah, this is great. We're having lots of fun. And though we've been slow on the two towers, we are still going strong.
Yeah, I think we're back and we're better than ever.
Like the Ghostbusters?
No. I didn't see that movie, Corey.
Which one? Oh man, you have to be so specific these days.
I didn't see the newest one.
I didn't see the two newest ones.
Okay, the other one I actually liked a bit, but everyone hated. This one I just haven't had a chance. I don't really like that kid.
Paul Rudd.
No, the kid, the guy, the little wiener guy.
Yeah, the kid from Stranger Things.
Wolfgang Puck. I can't remember his name. His name's like,
I know his
like
name, but this is more fun.
Finn Wolf or something, isn't it?
Finn Wolfhard, yeah.
Okay.
It's funny, you could say in this context Wolfgang Puck, and who would not know who you're talking about, you know? Like that works really well. Yeah. Paul Rudd's been referenced twice in this episode.
Yeah, he's great. He gets my vote for new Pippin, or was it Merry? I can't remember.
It's Merry. Oh, I'm good.
I will draw you, Saruman, as poison is drawn from a wound.
I will draw you Saruman, where we discuss the chapter title page for this episode. Sorry, I was trying to open my email as I did that. I just got urukai.jpg and it's not loading here, Corey.
Oh,
here we go. Oh, awesome. Okay. This has a real this is reminding me of a couple things, Corey.
Okay.
I don't know what you're referencing here exactly, but I'm seeing some Jurassic Park 2 reference in a bit of a way.
Oh, really?
I'm seeing a 300 reference here.
Oh. No, actually.
Oh.
I was just trying to be very simple with it. I was kind of thinking like kind of like almost like a military movie poster, like like
Band of Brothers kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. I was kind of thinking along those lines, and I wanted to kind of keep it like somewhat simple, because most of the chapter takes place in the dark.
Yeah, marching along in the dark.
Yeah.
Do you know the 300 reference I'm thinking of?
No, I don't think so.
There's in the book there's scenes like that where they're marching along.
Oh, sweet. Oh, okay. Oh man, it's been so long since I've looked at that. Probably since the movie came out, which was a very long time ago.
Right. In Band of Brothers, the title card kind of is all the soldiers standing in front of a dirty old sky.
Yeah, I kind of want to like the like text to sort of reference that, like, you know, like sans serif, just like kind of brutal, if you will.
I just found the Hobbits.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wanted to like I was thinking like I could do like, you could have like hundreds of silhouettes because I think there were an awful lot of them. But I was like, I'm gonna keep it like somewhat simple, and some like little northerners trailing behind. And
yeah, I like it.
Weird misshapen guys.
What was the other thing it reminded me of? Oh, Jurassic Park 2, of course.
The Lost World, Mike?
Yeah, you know when they're in the cornfield?
No.
Oh, never mind.
No.
How long's it been, Corey, since you've seen Jurassic Park?
Well, Mike, it's been a long time. I think that's
it's just a classic like silhouette scene.
Oh, okay. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Jurassic Park 2. Let's look up cornfield. Cornfield chase? Yes. I really don't remember. It's fine. It's fine. We'll forget about that for now.
It's cool. I like it.
Thanks, Mike.
I like that you're moving outside of your, or you continue. We're not you. I like that we're always outside of our comfort zone with these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I try. Yeah, we do try. We try to stay out of our comfort zone with these things. Yeah.
What a beautiful night sky that Merry and Pippin are being tortured within.
Well, that's kind of part of it too, is like they're so, for so much of the chapter, there's so much out in the open, like they're just in like endless rolling field. And so like, yeah, the sky above them must have been gorgeous. But there's just like this, pitch parade of literal monsters running through.
Yeah, these beautiful rolling fields.
Yeah, just the worst thinking, probably loudest group of orcs.
Yeah, constantly fighting and pinching, and
They must have been so loud, Mike.
it's awful. The Uruk-hai, those pricks.
But again, our great heroes of this chapter, Grishnákh and Uglúk, are no more.
Man, I gotta get working on the next title. I have like a thumbnail and that's it.
Oh, okay, sweet.
But you can't know what it is.
Oh yeah, the next one is quite exciting, isn't it? No fucking spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers, Corey.
Yeah, but it's very exciting. Oh, actually, I should mention Team Uglúk and Team Grishnákh t-shirts exist and they're coming out. Mike, I think I might throw them on. We talked about this a while back, but I think I might throw them on like Redbubble or what's that other one? One of those like t-shirt.
Yeah, well, we totally could.
And I know that you had mentioned Society 6 originally.
Yeah. Then people could get it printed on like anything they wanted.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. So we're gonna do that. There's gonna be Hobbit shit on there.
Sweet, yeah. Oh, we could add a couple other things to that too.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Corey.
Yeah, okay. There is a lot of like weird Tolkien stuff. I kept seeing Team Fëanor t-shirts. And I was like,
I think people have huge crushes on him.
Weird. He's such a prick. But anyway.
He is the coolest of the Boromir brothers.
Oh no, not Faramir, Fëanor.
Oh right, yeah, he is a prick.
Yeah, that Silmaril motherfucker.
Yeah, when I first read it as like basically a child, like I was like 17 or 18 when I read it the first time.
Yeah.
I thought he was really cool, but I didn't really understand like that he destroyed the entire world.
Yeah, he kind of fucked up all of creation.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, some people are Team Fëanor, some people are Team Grishnákh.
He was really cool. I'll give him that.
He was a hell of an artist.
Yeah, one hell of an artist, the greatest ever. And one of the greatest warriors. Didn't he die fighting like the king of Balrogs or something?
Oh, yeah, he might have Gothmog.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah, I don't know. We're way off topic though.
Yeah. Well, it's still on topic. But my boss and I were talking about a couple like throwaway lines in the Silmarillion that are just like you just want to highlight like I can't remember his example. Mine was when the king of the Balrogs comes flying into battle on the back of the biggest dragon ever. And it was just like mentioned, like that's how they got to I don't know where it was. One of the giant, maybe the Gondolin, the fall of Gondolin.
That's just how he arrived.
Yeah, just a Balrog riding a giant dragon. That's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, actually.
A single sentence is left to describe it.
But if you want a description of trees, we got paragraphs and paragraphs.
Yeah. And how Pippin feels.
and very very underused, underrated even luggage analogies.
He was lousy with them. Anyway, I think we're done here. I think we're just chatting because we haven't chatted in a while.
I think so, yeah. But I think this was a good episode. Like we've come full circle maybe twice.
Yeah. Anyway, time for an outro, Corey.
Thank you for listening to That Hobbit Shit. Thank you for bringing us up to 10,000 listens. And this has been season 3, chapter 3 of The Two Towers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for confirmation. I was losing it there a little.
Corey, I think next episode's going to be even danker.
I can say without hesitation that next episode will be danker. So you can find us on Instagram at That Hobbit Shit. You can find us on Twitter at Hobbit Shit. You can email us thathobbitshit@gmail.com. Find us on Patreon, patreon.com/That Hobbit Shit. Also look out for Hobbit Shit merch, both on Patreon and not on Patreon. If you just really need to get your hands on a Team Grishnákh t-shirt. Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Let's endeavor to get those up in the next few days. How about that?
Yeah, I think we can have them out by the time this episode is out. Sure.
Sweet. Okay.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Which would make sense. Yeah. Thanks for listening. I'm Corey,
And I'm Mike.
and may the hair
on your
toes never
get
fall
combed.
out.
I got you with that one.